Hey guys, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. So today we're going to start something new, something that I mentioned on my last pickups video, and I want to do kind of a monthly series of kind of what I watched in that prior month, just to kind of make myself start watching more of my collection, which is something I really need to do. I want to kind of stay on top of it. So this will kind of force me to kind of show kind of what I watched in that month. So I started in May watching, as much as I can watch, between work and all the stuff I have to do with the kids after work and sports and all that stuff and carting them around. It doesn't leave much time left in the evenings. So usually I'm just falling asleep to YouTube or something like that. So I've been trying to watch as many movies as I can, and I think I watched a decent amount. So let me just quickly go through them. So first up, and I'm going to try to do it in the order in which I watched it, but I guess it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. First one is a recent pickup from Kino. It's the 4K of Kindergarten Cop. Watch this with my kids. They've never seen it. I'm going to be dating myself, but I did see this in the theaters when it came out. I was young, probably around my kids' age. But yeah, so I don't know if the 4K really matters in this movie. I didn't really notice much of a difference. Then again, I don't know if I've ever seen the Blu-ray of this, but I wasn't kind of blown away. But I think a movie like this, it doesn't really matter. I got this on the Kino sale, so to me, I'll pick up the 4K on a sale any day. So it looked good, don't get me wrong, but I think if I could have gotten this a lot cheaper as a Blu-ray, I probably would have done that. And I'm sure there's a Blu-ray version of this somewhere. So, but anyway, and again, I'm not a big videophile, right? So maybe I'm missing things. Watch films at home if you wanna kind of go through that stuff. But here's a little bit about the movie, some of the special features. I'm probably not gonna do that actually on these videos. So, anyway, Kindergarten Cop, classic. Okay, next one up is something I picked up at a convention, New Jersey HorrorCon. Newt Wallen was there, and I bought a couple of the films that he's been in. And I think I mentioned this during my New Jersey HorrorCon pickups, and mistakenly said that he directed this or something. I think I may have said that in the video. I'm not sure. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I watched this. It's pretty good. There he is right there. It's XXXmas, and it wasn't terrible. I've seen a lot worse from Vinegar Syndrome. I thought it was kind of interesting. Could have used a little more backstory, I guess, as to why things were happening the way they were happening. It's pretty much Santa going on a killing spree, and then you kind of find out at the end why, which I think may have missed the mark a little bit. If there's a little more background to it, it's not quite softcore. I think it's just like a really hard R. I would think it's unrated, but I wouldn't put this in the like Skinamax kind of realm. Although it is about a guy making a Christmas porno and Santa coming around and killing everyone. So there's that, but pretty entertaining, I will say that much. Next up is the first of 2 James Cameron films that I have watched in the month of May. The first one is the 4K of The Abyss. Thought this looked fine. I thought it looked good. I know there are some people that are not happy with this, and I think maybe they said The Abyss was probably the best looking one. I didn't have this on any other format, I think. Maybe I thought I had this on Laserdisc, maybe not. I can't remember. Oh, you know what? I have a VHS. I'm not sure in my pickups video if I showed that this was an upgrade from that or not, but I do have the VHS of this, so clearly an upgrade from there. But I thought this looked fine. Yeah, and solid movie. I know there's like, I want to say the extended cut might be in here. Theatrical version and special edition. Special edition kind of changes the plot a little bit. I just watched the theatrical. Just wanted to watch the theatrical. If I want to watch it again, I'll pop in the extended version, and that's kind of usually what I do in situations like that. When I go with the theatrical, unless it's something like, I guess, Blade Runner, where, you know, the definitive one is like, might be the final cut, or maybe it's the director's cut. I don't know, to be honest with you. But and same thing with this one, Aliens. Pick this up. This, again, looks good to me. Watched the theatrical cut, but I did watch the deleted scenes that pretty much make up the extended cut. I kind of like how they extended it. I think it gives a little more depth to why she connects with Newt so much. So, you know, I like the extended cut. Sometimes the extended cut doesn't really do anything, or it kind of totally changes the plot a little bit, like Abyss does, and adds things that maybe, I think at the end of the day, the theatrical cut was better for the Abyss. For Aliens, I kind of like the extended cut on it. But again, solid 4K. I do not have True Lies. I know that's the one where there's a lot of contention about, you know, how he looks and smoothing and DNR, too much DNR. But I will get that eventually. I actually do not own that on any format, so I do really need it for the collection. Next up, obviously, I had to watch this. It was May. It was Mother's Day. So I watched Mother's Day, Vinegar Syndrome release. Never seen this. I've seen, as a kid, I've always seen like the VHS of this, but I've never watched it before. So it was pretty solid. Actually, it's kind of a combination of different genres. Kind of has that Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to it. But then it's also like a revenge movie. So I feel like it's both of those. A little slow at times. I found myself kind of fast forwarding a little bit in some spots. May have fallen asleep here and there, because when I pop these in, like I said, I'm crazy busy during the day, so I'm not popping a movie in until probably 11 o'clock, if not later, midnight. So on a weekday, sometimes that's rough. But I did watch the whole thing. I did enjoy it. Yeah, it's kind of like your late 70s, early 80s kind of dingy slasher. Like I said, Texas Chainsaw meets I Spit on Your Grave. Maybe I'm giving it a little too much credit than it deserves, but I didn't hate it. And is this a Troma? Or, yeah, it's a Troma movie that was put out, and I guess put on 4K by Vinegar Syndrome. Next up, my son randomly said, hey, let's watch Back to the Future 2. So we did. Unfortunately, we didn't get through all of it. I watched, I think, the rest of it. But any reason for me to pop in Back to the Future, I'll do it. I like this release. You know, a lot of these Universal releases kind of look like this. It's like that Digipack. Here's part 2. Watch the 4K. I think the 4K looks great on this movie. I think they're re-releasing these on individual Amarais, so it's like it's a box set. I think just saw this Ken from Mid-Level Media, I think just had this on his channel, where I think they're going to be like the individual Amarais in here without the slipcover. I think it was Ken. I watch so many of these blue tubers that I forget who said what, but I'm good with this one. But anyway, Back to the Future Part 2, classic. It was so surreal when 2015 actually hit, and I'm like, where the hell are the flying cars, man? Next up is a movie I've been trying to watch since I got it back in like April. It was part of my Kino pickups, and it is The Hound of the Baskervilles, and it was awful. Peter Cook, Dudley Moore. I thought this was something that it wasn't. It's a comedy, very British. I had to put subtitles on at some points. Very dry humor. I laughed at some parts. I mean, it wasn't like awful, but it just wasn't my kind of humor. So I don't know. I got through it, watched it. I was on a mission, had to do it. Next up, 2 films that I had to watch to prepare for the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And of course, I'm talking about Deadpool. Is this 4K? No, this is Blu-ray. Who am I kidding? I watched it on Disney Plus, but I do have the physical media for it. So, or maybe, I think you know what? I watched the 4K, but I watched the first one on Disney Plus. Actually, because it's a 4K scan, I think. Or no, like a 4K copy on Disney Plus, where this is just the Blu-ray. But whatever. I don't have to justify it. I'm all about physical media, and I enjoy streaming. You can do both. Anyway, love this slipcover. Yeah, I mean, fantastic movie. The first one is great. The second one is okay. Damn, look at those dings in there. This is one of my early steelbooks I got. The very first steelbook, I'll tell you right now, was a gift from my brother-in-law, and it was X-Men Apocalypse. So this is a very early one as well. Yeah, I mean, 2 is good. 2 is great. 1 is, I think, better. But yeah, had to watch those. And this is an example, and I think I talked about this in my last video, not this video, but I am filming it immediately after, where I talked about I don't like having the steelbook of a sequel if I don't have it for the original or vice versa, but I did that here. So, whatever. I'm a liar. Next up, I kind of got into a baseball movie kick. It was the end of the season for Little League, for softball and baseball, and I just kind of got into this like kick of watching baseball movies. So the first one up is a 4K of Major League. Yeah, I mean, it looked good. Again, this is kind of another one where I don't know if you really need this movie on 4K. I mean, I didn't have it. That's a lie. I have it on another format that I'm probably selling now, just like the regular kind of Blu-ray copy of it. So I had to get the Steelbook 4K. Like I said, looks good. Do you need 4K? Probably not. If this came out as a Blu-ray Steelbook, would I have gotten it? Probably. I think so, and I think it would have looked just as good. So, but yeah, great movie. I kind of hope they come out with Major League Part 2. I can, Part 3, take it or leave it. But Part 2, I hope they come out with. Next up, and again, full disclosure, I watched it on Disney Plus, but I do have the physical copy on DVD, and it's Rookie of the Year. And this is another one where my son was like, "Hey, can we watch Rookie of the Year?" I was like, "Absolutely, absolutely." So yeah, great film. I've watched this a couple times with my son, actually. It is on Disney Plus since it is a Fox film, but yeah, pretty solid. I was always more of a fan, I think, of Little Big League, if you had to compare the two. This one is a little more fun, having the kid actually play versus having a kid be the manager. But I always prefer the other one. But yeah, it's a good time. And then to round out the baseball movies, Mr. Baseball. I love this movie. Yeah, it's just great movie. I don't know what else to say. I love Tom Selleck. I grew up watching Magnum P.I. I think he's good in a bunch of his movies. Yeah, I don't. There's not a bad thing I can say about this movie. I think it's like just an excellent just movie. I don't know why I'm laughing. I really don't know what to say about it. It's just one of those movies that's just so easy to watch. You know, you don't have to know anything about baseball. It just makes it feel baseball is so like this grand thing, like sport. Like I don't know what it is. Like when I watch this one compared to others, you know, look like watching them play in the stadium, you know, in the field, in Japan. I don't know, like it's like grandiose, sort of. I don't know what it is. But yeah, Mr. Baseball. Good stuff. And next up is just the best. And I wanted to end the month off just like a really fun movie. Not that Mr. Baseball isn't Mr. Baseball. I could have ended the month with Mr. Baseball and been fine. But, you know, every once in a while, you just want to grab one of your go-tos. So you may see this again in a couple months, because I think I watch this movie at least a couple times a year. It is the quintessential 80s buddy cop movie. Now, before I show you, think about that. What is your favorite 80s buddy cop movie? And then realize you're wrong, because it's Tango and Cash. Unbelievable film. It is just so 80s. Just everything about it. The explosions, the car, the breaking out of the jail, just like all those 80s tropes. It's just all in here, and it's just great. You have Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell at their prime, and it's just I'm sad that there aren't more Tango and Cash movies. Like, I don't know why this wasn't a franchise. You know, how could there not be Tango and Cash 2 or 3? Or whatever. And don't do it now, please. For the love of God, do not do it now. Netflix, Amazon Prime, don't. But yeah, Tango and Cash. Just great. And that's it, guys. These are the movies. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 movies. Not terrible. Can't really do one a day. But, you know, my first month of doing this, these are the movies I watched in the month of May. Again, the whole point is to try to watch things I haven't watched, so I didn't really do a good job since I've seen all of these before. But, hey, listen, not all of these, most of these, but hey, it's just about watching the physical media and just kind of showing off what you like, what you don't like, trying new things. If you watch my last video, you're going to remember this. I'm going to watch this month. I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch it in between some of the Vinegar Syndrome that I'm going to try to watch for next month and see how terrible that is. I know, random Gumby appearance. I need a gummy. That's what I need. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you watched in the month of May. And until next time, see you guys in the Nerd Cave.